Now, what I do want to go over first is this Alabama-Oklahoma game. I really did believe Alabama was going to win this game. I did not believe in Oklahoma's limitations on offense. And if anybody knows me personally, I always love when a team faces twice in a season. I like the team that loses to come out with a win the second time. Not only that, I did believe Alabama was the better team. I discussed with you guys with Oklahoma's limitations on offense. I thought they were the worst Power Four school in this tournament. I thought there were way better Power Four schools left out. But again, really with a two-loss SEC team, you can't really fault them too much. So for getting in, like they had the resume to do so. But when we look at this Oklahoma team in the first 5, 6 games of the season before John Mateer did get hurt, this offense had a lot more life to them. As they were going into the college football playoffs, I think they were really going in the wrong direction. I mean, we see them barely get out of an LSU game, barely score points in like 3 of their last games. They had limitations. I think John Mateer, a lot of people are saying that, again, it was because he came back too early from the injury that Oklahoma's offense has limitations. I really don't think so. I just think John Mateer has limitations throwing the football in general. Like, I don't really think it comes down to him coming back too early from the injury. I think he's, at this point in the season, he was fully healthy. I just think he has limitations. And it also comes down to the Oklahoma run game as well. Like, this Oklahoma run game consistently can't get anything out of their backs. How many games this season did we see John Mateer be the leading rusher for this Oklahoma team? Like, that is ridiculous. When you can't run the football, you are going to have issues in a college football playoff format, especially against teams that have above average defenses. And when you look in this game, Oklahoma had 55 rushing yards total. Not going to work. They only had 2 carries, other than 2 people carried the ball, other than John Mateer. Also, probably not going to work. We saw explosive plays from Deion Burks. We saw a touchdown from Isaiah Satanga. Those 2 guys, I believe, were top weapons in college football. But again, when you're not able to run the football, this is what's going to happen. Now, huge credit to Alabama. I thought when Oklahoma was up 17-0, I was like, Alabama's in trouble. Even though I really thought Alabama was going to win this game at that point, I did not think so. Alabama was in trouble when they went down big, because I was like, how are they going to dominate in the trenches against an Oklahoma team, especially with how inconsistent this Alabama's offensive line has been all season against a top defense like Oklahoma? Again, even though I do believe Oklahoma did have these limitations on offense, they had a top defense in college football. Somehow down the stretch in this game, Alabama in the trenches on both sides of the ball dominated. I don't even know how they did it, but credit to them. I think that's a huge point for them moving on to the next round that they could really build off of, because I would not expect their offensive line to play this well. And again, when you give Ty Simpson time in the pocket, I think Ty Simpson's phenomenal. I really do believe, like everybody knows me who's been following this pod all year, I have a soft spot for Ty Simpson. I think he is the best thrower when it comes to anticipation in all of college football. I think he's extremely accurate. I think he throws guys open a lot, and you saw that in this game. I thought Ty Simpson was absolutely on the money. Now, his receivers did have some drops. Obviously, Ryan Williams had some drops like he has had all season, but his receivers also made some spectacular plays as well to make up for the drops. Lazir Brooks, he really came on this game. He had the best game of the season. Not only was it Alabama's most important game of the season, he had his best game of the season. Lazir Brooks is a guy that's going to be hopefully the future of this program if they can retain him. He's shown flashes all season, but he looked phenomenal in this game. The one pass I really do love was that 30-yard ball. I thought it was a great ball by Ty Simpson, but Lazir Brooks also had to adjust to his back shoulder. Phenomenal play by him. Jeremy Bernard didn't really go crazy in this game, but the one catch he did have off the helmet, again, that could arguably be catch of the year. So Alabama's receivers were making really great plays, even though they did have some easy drops in this game. But I'm going to stick to the same thing with Alabama. Again, they're going to play the number 1 team in the country in Indiana. We're going to talk about this a little bit later in this pod. But again, if they're not able to run the football, and if they're not able to get Ryan Williams going, which again, how many weeks has it been? He's probably not going to get going at this point if he hasn't already. Again, I hope he does. Everybody knows how much I do love Ryan Williams. I don't know if Alabama can make a run. I do think they have a lot to build off of with this window, just based on how much better this offensive line has played. Like, I think this offensive line, realistically, probably played their best game all season, at least their best game in the back end of the last 6 weeks. Because, again, it has been rough for this offensive line. Again, They've had injuries. They haven't been able to be consistent, but you have a guy that you can argue is the best quarterback in the country in Ty Simpson and the best anticipatory thrower in all of college football. Again, I think Ty Simpson absolutely balled in this game. And another thing with Ty Simpson, again, he's a sneaky runner. I don't think he's able to really run the football for, again, for positive rushing yards, and you can't really do design runs with him necessarily too much. But I do think when it comes to extending plays out of the pocket and throwing on the run, he's a great runner. But again, Alabama does still have to figure stuff out with this win. Like, again, you're rushing for 28 yards. You're not going to win games rushing for 28 yards. The only reason you did win this game is because you're also facing a team in Oklahoma that also can't run the football. But going down the stretch, Alabama's going to have to be able to run the football, and they're going to have to, absolutely have to, get production out of Ryan Williams. One reception for 5 yards again. It's ridiculous for this talent. It's ridiculous for this talent. And it also comes down to Ryan Williams. Like, I've been really talking about how much I've been hammering Coach DeBoer and the staff for not getting Ryan Williams involved. But at the same time, this game, along with many other games, how many easy balls have we seen Ryan Williams drop? It's also on him. But again, Alabama's going to have to figure stuff out. I think it's very positive going into this next game, how well their offensive line played down the stretch against a top defense. But they're going to have to run the football. I do think they should go with Daniel Hill a little more than Jam Miller. It does have to be a split. You do have to give the defense different looks because, again, not one running back is taking the workload over, but I do think Daniel Hill right now is definitely the better back. And then, again, you're going to have to get Ryan Williams involved, and you're going to have consistency on this offensive line. When Ty Simpson does receive a lot of pressure, he is not the best quarterback under pressure. But again, when you give him time, he could throw guys open. He's extremely accurate. I thought Ty Simpson absolutely balled in this game. I thought Ladsir Brooks, again, was probably the MVP of this game with just how much he stepped up. And credit to Alabama really dominating the trenches in the back end of this game. And also credit to Alabama coming back down from 17-0. That wraps up this game.